Hello everyone, thanks for coming back for episode 2. Today we're going to discuss balance. Yes, balance. The most rage-inducing yet most elusive element of gaming. Now when you bring up the topic of balance, there are actually two different categories that people often separate the subject into. The first is balancing of competitive gameplay, and the second is balancing of difficulty in single-player games. Today we'll be focused on the first, competitive balancing. First, I'm going to be talking to developers. Yep, you guys. Okay, so first, for all of you guys and gals that take the extra time to critique and tweak your creations until you have a game that is balanced as possible, for you, I have nothing but adoration and utmost respect. Balancing in competitive games is by far the single most difficult part of their creation, especially with some of the new fighting games boasting increasingly more characters. You see, balancing in this sense is actually not possible. Not in the sense that it's very difficult, it literally cannot be done. Having a completely balanced competitive game is completely unattainable, and sadly the flaw is actually us. The human brain is just so big of an X factor that there is no way we can plan and build for every single possibility that it can come up with. That being said, we still have to aspire to make games as balanced as we possibly can. Not doing so is lazy and irresponsible as a developer, and on top of that, it's super frustrating for players. Have you ever been playing a game against someone and no matter what you try, you're just getting wailed on? And if you're like me, then you say something along the lines of, "What the fuck? I can't do anything." Well, in truth, there usually is something that could have been done. We have made big strides in creating more balanced games in the competitive gaming industry. It's only when that statement, "I couldn't do anything," is true that we have a serious problem. Nothing is more frustrating than losing control or choice. When a game is unbalanced, that's exactly the world that the developer has created. They gave you a world with rules and then the tools to navigate this world, and then for no reason they made something that completely ignores those rules and then they ask you to defeat it. It's an impossible request. And while we cannot get rid of all of these situations, it's the fault of lazy development that causes it to run rampant in some games. That being said, here are some ways to help rid your game of some of these flaws. Listen to all feedback. This one is tough because not all feedback is worded nicely or even efficiently. By the way, part 2 of this topic, we will address the players about this. You have been warned. Anyway, all feedback is valuable. It is up to you as a development team to decipher what the tester is saying. Now again, that doesn't justify poor critique from players. Again, you have been warned. Secondly, test and test early and often. It's never too early to grab a random person and say, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And with the age of so much early access support, it's really inexcusable not to do this. Also, as soon as feedback has been implemented, throw it back out to your testers as soon as you can. You'll be surprised by what they find that you as a developer overlooked. Now, I've talked a lot about developers and their involvement with balancing, but they definitely don't shoulder all the responsibility for creating a balanced game. Yep, I'm talking to you, the players. Well, I will be talking to you next week. I'm out of time, and I still have to edit all of this ramble. So, thanks for listening. See you next week.